Welcome everyone. We will get started here in about 3 minutes. I look forward to seeing you. Feel free to hit me up on Twitch. In the meantime, we are all on Twitch. Gaiscioch.info/Twitch. We are also going to be broadcasting to Facebook for the first time ever, and also to YouTube, like always. Welcome everybody to the 2018 Gaiscioch Virtual Conference. This is traditionally it was known as a State of the Family, but we rebranded it into a conference because someday maybe we'll even turn it into a conference. Wouldn't that be cool? In any case, I am your host, Benjamin Foley. Many of you guys know me as a guy that leads you all off cliffs. If you haven't been led off a cliff by me, well then we'll have to cure that. So I am the Founders and Activities Director, and 17 years ago I started this little community called Gaiscioch in the good old Dark Age of Camelot. So if any of you guys remember that game way back then, it was our birthplace, and today we come together to celebrate 17 years. And I've got a lot to show you guys, so there's a lot of exciting stuff that we're going to be covering. But first, I kind of want to give you a little rundown on what this conference is. So we wanted to present a nice kind of summary look at the Gaiscioch community, what we've done, what we did this last year, and where we're going next year. So the idea is to create a public forum where people can ask questions, contribute, give feedback, and kind of put together an overall plan for what's coming next year through our year 18. So let's go ahead and move on forward. Topic, agenda, who we are, where we've been, year 17 in review, state of the industry, the future of the community, upcoming adventures, questions and answers. That will be an AMA. If you got a weird question, feel free to ask it. I'm kind of an open book, so feel free. And then closing, so it should go by pretty quick. First step about Gaiscioch. Who are we? Well, we took our name from the Irish legend of the Tuatha De Danann. The Gaiscioch were said to be the most honorable and loyal warriors to ever fight for the Irish people. In 2001, we created a gaming community based on this legend and the traditions taught by the legend of the Gaiscioch, created to bring memorable adventures to all regardless of their skill and time commitment level. We practice kindness, compassion, fellowship, honor, respect, loyalty, benevolence, and integrity. We stand against persecution and unjust treatment of others and welcome all with open arms. We publish our own magazine for all gamers and developers to enjoy. We host live streams daily. We are committed toward bringing gamers sneak peeks, guides, and information about their favorite games. And we are also heavily involved in charity. We do a children's charity event every year. We all wear pink in October for the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And we do a lot of outside the community stuff too, like 5K runs and stuff like that. try to raise money for various charities. And my cat says hello. We do have a very unique approach. Most guilds in the world, they basically want you to be theirs exclusively, and they don't want you to go outside the world. We are kind of the opposite. We want you to be a part and home with us, and then go into the world and bring Gaiscioch to the rest of the world. So membership is based off of Gaiscioch.com. Our website is our home base of operations, where all activities are planned and all our stuff in-game comes from. So if you aren't part of the website, you will kind of be left out of the know. So you definitely want to connect there. We are not an in-game guild. We are a community that plays games together. Our community exists even if the game closes. It still continues on. It travels through many games. In-game guild membership is not required. Yeah, that's right. You don't have to be in our guild in-game to be a part of our community. You can register on Gaiscioch.com and be in your taco shop guild. And you can be in taco shop all you want, and we don't care, because what matters is what's on your face, not what's above your head. We want smiles. We don't care about the guild tag. Community progression is permanent. It carries over from game to game. You can go AFK for years at a time. We have had several people go AFK for years at a time. And everything stays right where it's at. Right when you come back, you pick up right where you left off. Like you never miss a day. So there's no need to reapply. You just log back into your account, say, hey, I'm here. Can I get an invite? Boom, done. We host open events, open regardless of guild affiliation. So we hold these major public community events like Battle for Badlands back in the day. 700 people attended that one. It's crazy. Talaria Saga and Rift, Great Tyranid Adventure, Guild Wars 2, Chronicles of Tamriel, and ESO. They are all a lot of fun. They're open to everybody. We give away a ton of loot for people. And after all, the most epic loot in life is a healthy smile and a fond memory. This is very, very true, and we hold it close to heart. Some fun facts. Gaiscioch has been a well-known prankster community, creating legends such as the Needle in the Haystack achievement in Warhammer Online, get the Gullible title, and the Battle Cow mount in Rift. See Bree there on that beautiful cow down there in the bottom left? This was a mount that we invented during the early days of Rift, and had the whole community going goo goo gaga about how to get this cow, and it doesn't actually exist. It was quite fun, but yeah, people got salty. We were created after my first MMO friend, by the name of Bondon, was kicked out of our guild that we were playing in because he couldn't play 5 days a week. He was only able to play 4, and the guild kicked him. And I said, forget this, let's go create our own guild. So we created Gaiscioch. So that's kind of how we started. We started out of a guild being too good for us, I guess. We did win Mythic Entertainment's Best Roleplay Guild Side Award in 2004 during a fansite contest. I actually have the t-shirt that we got for that still today. Still wear it. It's a great t-shirt. DOC shirt. Gotta love it. We are the first on MU to slay the Vanilla Hibernian Dragon. Took us 2 years to do it, and about 200 people. It was a lot of fun. We finally figured out that you gotta stop healing. Don't heal. Just res. Every healer focus on rezzing. And that's how we finally beat him. People probably died 1,000 times, but we beat him. It took about 2 hours. First in the world to slay Ashikatari inside Meridian. We were also the first in the world to kill Silver Valis in Meridian just 13 days after it went live. If you have played Rift and you tried it in the early days of Rift before they made everything easy, trying to get into Meridian and kill those leaders is quite the challenge when you're getting PvP'd wearing PvE gear. The gear difference was huge, so we had to have a whole warband of people that were all PvP geared, fighting the other PvPers, while our raid crew, wearing PvE gear, was trying to take the bosses. So that was quite the achievement. Now this is a fun fact. Scott Page of Pink Floyd, Susan Bennett, who is the voice of Suri, James Kyson, who was on Heroes and NCIS, Nolan K. Bushnell, the founder of Atari and Chuck E. Cheese, all follow Gaiscioch. Not many people know that, but there you have it. Fun stuff. So this year's leadership, there is a little change. We kind of moved all the social adventure and historical chapters, all those guys, all into the support realm. So we have Elena, Varder, Tip, Celerina, Sea Coral, Chemical, Screenager, Smitty, Terrafer, Prissy, and Nona all in the support role. They basically drop in feedback where they can. And Guild Wars 2, we have Gma Fog, Old Goat, Jillabob, Micah. That's not one person, that's two people. I just forgot a character turn. Bree, Soren, Dargren, Rylissa. Elder Scrolls, we have Sir Henry Vale, Verve, Kilted Piper, Ian, Tybur, and Virga. In Warhammer Online, we have Maintenance, Married, Donna Liam, and Radiological. And then I pretty much span everything. So I'm all the places you can find me. So let's talk a little bit about Gaiscioch history. We launched in DOC 2001 on the server Nanu, the realm of Hibernia. That's where the Irish people were. We were home to over 250 players. We led Dragon Raids, led public RVR groups, active in the roleplay scene. We won the Best Guild Site Award by Mythic Entertainment, and we finally retired the chapter in 2006 after my life was pretty much upheaved and turned around. So there was a little dark period in between DOC and Warhammer Online where I was getting my life back together and playing a lot of Guild Wars 1. We eventually launched again in Warhammer Online in 2008. We were on the Phoenix Throne server, later the Badlands server. Playing on the Order side, we had over 750 players. We led the massive events called Open Pug Night originally, and then eventually rebranded as Battle for Badlands. Ran 2 seasons of Battle for Badlands before we retired in 2011. 1.3.6 came out. We reopened the chapter in 2017 on the Return of Reckoning private server to kind of relive some of those glory days. It's been a lot of fun since. We launched in Rift in 2011 after beta testing the game, alpha testing the game for about 2 years before that. Yeah, it was Heroes of Talara when we started. It eventually got renamed Rift. The server was Fablite. It ended up being our largest chapter ever with 2,500 players. It was insane. It was absolute insanity. I don't think I'd ever do it again. It was our first major PvE-focused game. We were the first in the world to kill Ashkatar in Meridian. And it was the first time we ever had a raiding presence. Before Rift, I didn't even know what the word raiding meant. So it was quite a new experience. We ran 3 seasons of the Talara Saga, and we eventually retired it this year in 2018 after the Rift Prime launch. Guild Wars 2 launched in 2012 after a great long journey of a little fellow named Roger Oldor Raw, who was a huge part of our community. He was the one elder that never was. We kept trying to make him an elder, and he kept declining it. So eventually he really pushed us and pushed us and pushed us, and we took a look at Guild Wars 2. Fell in love with the game, and just before Alpha, and we got those invites, he passed away. So we went on a giant crusade to get the server named after him. We got the Sanctum of Rawl named after him. There's also an NPC inside the Black Citadel named after him. And yeah, so we have the Roger Oldor Rawl server named Sanctum of Rawl. That's where we call home. We've been there ever since. We've been on Tier 1, Tier None, Tier everywhere in between. And it's been quite an adventure. So currently there are over 300 active players in Guild Wars 2. Significant raiding presence. We have pretty much every trophy that there is, which is kind of cool. It's taken a lot of resources to make all those trophies, but we have several. There's 4 different raids. We have 2 or more gold statues, which is a whole lot of victories. So good job, raiders. Keep on doing it. And we've run 4 seasons of the Great Terran Adventure with another one slated for this January. Elder Scrolls Online, we launched in 2014 on the PC and Mac version. No presence on the console versions. It is currently home to over 200 active players. It's a small, tight-knit community focused on dungeons and map exploration. We kicked off our first season of the Chronicles of Tamriel in 2018. That was pretty fun. We plan on doing it again next year, hopefully when they launch their next chapter. Every year we have social meetups at PAX West, PAX East, EGX Rezzed, and Gamescom. If you're in those areas, you probably find a Gaiscioch roaming about. We have a strong presence on social media, including Facebook, Twitter, Steam, PlayStation, and Discord. Additional real-world gatherings whenever we can get them. We love doing them, so if there's an opportunity, we will take it. The magazine we launched in 2014, read by over 1 million people, or 1 million reads for the actual magazine, so not people, but actual reads. Over 600 articles have been written. Connects public events, live streams, into one public system, our Gaiscioch passport system. Basically, everything connects through there so that we can have an external source to award prizes and do giveaways and stuff like that. So we do have media credentials that gain us access to conferences, media review assets, and exclusive interviews. That was kind of a surprise that I never imagined we'd get. Our live streams, well, we've hosted more than 1,000 hours of live streams since we started about 6 years ago. Streams are on Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, and occasionally Steam. We just this year started playing with Facebook streaming. So this actual event is on Facebook right now. We reward members for connecting their Twitch TV account and participating in our stream. So if you're a member of Gaiscioch, you go to your edit profile, click over on social, and there's an area where you can enter in your Twitch information. You will start earning social points for watching our streams, including this very one that we're doing right now. Full 7-day-a-week schedule. So every single day of the week we have something going on. Feel free to check it out. It shows you what's going on and the latest, greatest stuff going on in Gaiscioch. For charity, we've raised over $40,000 for the Children's Miracle Network over the 8 years that we have done the Extra Life charity event. We've donated over 600 stuffed animals to displaced children's charities. And we support breast cancer awareness every October by going pink. Now this is where things get weird. Most gaming communities do not have an athletics program. This is not something that you do when you're a gamer. But we're different. Same time that we started Gaiscioch, we also started a Gaiscioch football team in San Jose, California. And we played there from 2001 to 2003. We moved to Eugene, Oregon in 2006 and continued through 2007. Then eventually we moved up to Portland, Oregon in 2008, and we played there for 10 years. We've won 8 league championships and 1 regional tournament. And we currently field 2 different competitive flag football teams in Portland, Oregon. So the first poll, guys, and we're going to give away the first patch. You can go on over to gaiscioch.info/poll to leave your vote. And we're going to see which part have you been a part of. There you guys go. Whee, look at those numbers jump. They're going all kinds of crazy. I wanted to give you guys a link. So just go on over to gaiscioch.info/poll and all lowercase, and it will take you to this little page where you can vote. You'll see the numbers jumping around on my screen. It's a lot of fun. First time I ever done a live poll, and I figure it's be a good experiment because I really like seeing how people's feedback comes across. So feel free to vote. And if everybody watching on Twitch can type in X, enter, just so that I make sure that I get everybody in this raffle, we're going to send you guys a patch, whoever wins. Feel free to type X, enter, and I will make sure to get you. Alright, I think we're good to roll. We're going to roll this baby and see who wins. Looks like Wolving. Congratulations. So it looks like I got a whole 2.1% of my DAOC crew here, 11.7% of my Warhammer Line crew, 23.4% of my Rift crew, and 33% of you have played Guild Wars 2 with us. 29.8% of you played ESO with us. That's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and proceed. Next up, we're going to take a look at our year in review. So this is all the stuff that we've done in the last year. First, we have to start off with the unfortunate news. This year we did say goodbye to two dear friends, Wally Pops Anderson and Paulo Finden Acedo. Both of them passed away this year, unfortunately, and they will live on in our hearts forever, ever and ever. They were both very huge roles in our community. Both were leaders of events. Both were very friendly and people that you can go hang out with. It was kind of a great loss. So we do have a Ascended Hall for all of our fallen members, where we will remember them for as long as Gaiscioch is alive, and we will be developing that out even further and thinking of new ways to remember these guys. So sucks to have to go through this kind of thing. As a community leader, I never thought I'd have to. When I created Gaiscioch, this wasn't something I ever thought I'd have to deal with, but it has hit me more times than I can count, and it seems like this is just going to continue going forward. So it's one of those things that we as a community have to bond together and grow past. So we will always remember you, Pops and Finden. We love you guys. So Gaiscioch raised $2,137 this year for the Children's Miracle Network. We officially became a registered trademark. So Gaiscioch went through the legal process and the months and months and months of paperwork to get our Gaiscioch name trademarked officially here in the United States. We did this because there was an imposter that was trying to pretend to be us and trying to steal game keys from developers using our name. And this allowed us to take a legal standpoint to get them shut down. So we ended up having to file a trademark to get them to stop doing it. But it worked. They have stopped, so that's good. We rebuilt the game homepage to serve as better recruitment centers for each chapter. So if you go to warhammer.gaiscioch.com or guildwars.gaiscioch.com or eso.gaiscioch.com, you will see the rebuilt homepages before you log in, and those kind of talk about what each community does and what they're up to. We created a system that encourages member involvement and return visitorship to our website. Our newsletters now have little gems in there where people can enter them in and get some spare vault credits, which allow them to order stuff off our marketplace and loot vaults. We also have letters that go out to people that have recently disappeared from us. So when they stop logging in after 30 days, I send them a note, say, hey, what you up to? How you doing? You know, what's going on? And trying to connect better with people. You know, trying to make it so that people aren't just a number; they're an actual person, a community with people that care about them. Go figure. It's a good thing. We added the ability to earn social points by watching live streams. Yes, if you plugged in your Twitch, you'd be earning points right now as I'm talking. We created the lock certificates of achievements and patch program to reward members with physical loot for reaching our top rank. So we do have patches that we send out to various ranks, and we do have the lock certificate, which I basically make each one by hand and send it off to you. That's pretty cool. We participated in testing programs for a lot of games this year. Some of them include Camelot Unchained, New World, Rune, Moo Legend, Conqueror's Blade, Breach, Ashes of Creations, Crowfall, Rend, Ironsight, Bless Online, Redwall the Scout, and a lot more. So that was just the few that we were mainly invested in. There was a bunch more that we were helping test out stuff, and things like Adventure Roll, which is a D&D simulator. Those guys are really cool. You should check it out. Google it, Adventure Roll. Let you build your own world for D&D. It's good. Next, we got our Guild Wars 2. A little outline on what's going on over there. Still strong with over 300 active players. Sanctum Royal became a host server after several guilds came to join us. We got a message earlier this year from a friend over at Wild that said, hey, being alliances are coming, we wanted to jump over to Sanctum Royal and hang out with you guys. We really want to be in your alliance. And we said, sure, come on over. So they came on over. And then I got like 2 days later, SF, this community off jQuery, is like, hey, jQuery really loves playing with you guys. We want to come over and support you guys through the remainder of the time that Sanctum Royal is around. And I'm like, okay, sure. And then soon, before we know it, everybody's jumping to us, and our server gets full and locked, and we're back in Tier 1, and it's like, holy cow, what's going on? And yeah, it settled down quite a bit, but for a while there was about, I would say, 30-minute queues on every map, which was crazy. I hadn't seen that since the early days of Sanctum Royal. But it's good, because all these people that came to join us, a few of them have left after the dust settled, because, they couldn't get all their people on our server. But for the most part, the people that we really enjoy playing with have stayed, and we're super happy with their communities being a part of the Sanctum Royal server. We do have the alliances likely inbound in 2019. I imagine it'll probably fall 2019, but no idea when ArenaNet might drop that bomb. It's coming though. That should allow us some better communication across guilds, and also allow us to unify our communities a little bit more. Should be a lot of fun. Then we also have the Great Tyranid Adventure 5, which is coming out in January 2019. We finally got the legendaries ready to go, thanks to Gmod. Thank you so much for putting those together. The new expansion is expected hopefully in 2019. It'll probably be announced in 2019. I think it'll be 2020 before we see it. But we should see an announcement, I imagine. If they stick to their timeline with the Heart of Thorns and then the Path of Fire, they probably will be sometime this year. We're going to hear something. Elder Scrolls Online, we increased population in 2018, bringing our active membership over 200. Last year we were just under about 180-ish. So we actually increased our membership, which is good. We kind of felt that Elder Scrolls is kind of on a rebound. Like it hit hard. When it came out the door, we let out a lot of members. And they literally were like, nope, we're not giving up. We're going to go back to the drawing board. We're going to make this game better. And they did. They actually did. Like, if you play the game today, it is so much better than it was at launch. And I highly recommend anybody that hasn't picked it up since launch to give it a try. I do expect that we'll see an expansion this fall, 2019. We're going to launch the Chronicles of Tamriel to coincide with that. We did launch that event for the first time ever this year, and it was a pretty good success. We didn't really promote it hugely because we didn't know how it was going to work on ESO, so we wanted to kind of give it the first one a little dry run, make sure that it works well. So we're going to do the next one in a little bigger fashion, kind of draw some more attention and see how many people we can get. So the Chronicles of Tamriel was our first ever Elder Scrolls Online event. We had 113 registered players, of which 64 claimed attendance. The first run included 5 weeks. The second plan for 2019 will coincide with the new chapter launch. That's the new chapter of Elder Scrolls, whatever it may be. Now, Rift is kind of our sad story of the year. Numbers dwindled after our last Telara saga when the expansion didn't live up to the hype. Our raiding and event leaders moved on to other guilds to continue competitive raiding. We didn't really have the player base to continue that, and they really wanted to stay competitive, so they jumped. We let them. Wasn't bad blood or anything. They're still members of our community. They don't need our guild tag over their head, but we wished them well. And then Rift Prime came and really gave us the death blow. We had a very tiny community at the time, and then Rift Prime divided that little tiny community in half, and there wasn't enough people to justify keeping things going. So then to make matters worse, Tryon was sold to Game & Go, and the staff was largely laid off. All of our contacts are gone. So we don't really have anyone over at the Rift camp anymore. So as a Rift chapter, we basically have taken it off our homepage, It's still there if you want to play, but it's not going to be our focus. We're not going to be pushing a lot of effort into it, and it's really something that if you play, you're probably going to play alone. So it's probably best that you find another guild to play Rift with. Warhammer Online is kind of our surprise of the year. We didn't expect this to go as well as it did. We launched in January back into Return of Reckoning, a private server for Warhammer Online. We exploded. I mean, literally exploded. There was, in the first few weeks, we had over 250 people playing. We joined the High Ground Alliance, which is a group of very active RVR players, and there's always stuff going on. Our roster is sitting consistently at 495 characters. 122 of those characters have been active in the last 30 days. 211 have been active in the last 90 days. We are using the rotating roster system to keep our guild full and make sure that everyone's able to play. Our active RVR leading is taking place in both T1 and Tier 4. So for those that don't know, T2, 3, and 4 are all combined into one now. So you don't have to grind your way through all the middle class to get to the high class. It's literally 16, and then boom, you're in Tier 4. So since January 2018, we've led 24 T4 zone locks, 118 T1 zone locks, and 119 public quests. Next up is Gaiscioch magazine. We had our 1.1 millionth article read this year, which was huge. Didn't ever expect that to happen, but we migrated our website to a new layout which supports a magazine style on a web-connected device. So if you're familiar with reading a magazine, those old print things, you might recognize the layout and format of our website. We've kind of tried to style it after reading a magazine, except on a website. So it simplified browsing quite a bit, and we made it more visually pleasing. We moved away from trying to create the print version of our magazine. We used to create every single one like an actual magazine and then push it up to this place called Issue, which would turn it into pretty much a flash presentation, which nobody ever read. So we figured instead of pushing it somewhere where nobody's ever going to read it, why not push it to where people do read it and in a more timely manner? So we got rid of that whole process, and we just go straight to site now, and our issues are basically each quarter. We compile a bunch of articles into a quote issue, and we publish it that way. And you'll get, if you're subscribed to the newsletter or the magazine, you'll get a little email that highlights all the content from that magazine every quarter. We created a games directory to allow quick reference to articles, videos, news, and general information. We're even syncing up prices now, so you can find out what the Steam price is, or what the I'm working on getting the Fanatical price and the Green Man Gaming price and the Humble Bundle price. I would like to kind of build a Trivago of video games and try to give you guys the best price in the best place with all of our content surrounding it. We are one of the only places on the internet that you will find free content with no ads. We don't have any ads on our site. We like keeping it free. We like keeping it fun, and we don't write about things we don't like. So that's where we're at. Social adventure-wise, this year we actually had quite a few people playing social adventures with us. Dungeons & Dragons social adventure is kind of an interesting one. It does D&D online. It does tabletop Dungeons & Dragons, and now we also got kind of the adventure role group playing on the Dungeons & Dragons social adventure. So if you're interested in anything D&D related, check out the Dungeons & Dragons social adventure. There's a lot of people doing a lot of things. Guild Wars, we launched a social adventure this year, and it's actually going rather well. People are going and getting their unlocks. A lot of people doing it, actually. So if you're interested in Guild Wars 1, next to those guys, Fallout 76, good friend Doc Restless, also known as Baylor, put together a little group for Fallout 76. Get in touch with him for that information. We've been doing Dauntless on Weekend Warriors, Warface on PlayStation Adventures, Iron Sight we do occasionally on Weekend Warriors, and some late night streaming. Gloria Victus has been our Sunday Siege War for a little while. It's a lot of fun. If you're liking the survival type games, want to try out something that's a little different, it doesn't require you to survive so much and fight more, definitely check out Gloria Victus. World of Warcraft, we still have some people putzing around over there, having a little fun, getting out their gnomes, having some good old times. Black Desert Online, we are largely under the Relic banner, a sister guild of ours, and they are basically leading all of our people that want to play BDO out in the social adventure. So Warhammer Vermintide 2, we've got a small group of us that like to play this one together. Fortnite, who doesn't play Fortnite these days? If you don't play Fortnite, well then you're kind of like that guy that refused to play WoW back in the day, back in the early 2000s. Yep. Final Fantasy, Realm Reborn, we still got a bunch of people playing that. Seems to be, amazingly, the game that nobody thought was going to do well ended up doing really well, and it's probably the best subscription game out there today. So then we got Rend, a little survival game. If you're into the survival field, we have a few people playing Rend. Probably the only few people playing Rend, but we're having fun doing it. So, and the cool thing about social adventures, if you can dream it, you can play it. It doesn't matter what it is. You want to play Hot Shots Golf with a friend, you can turn it into a social adventure and get others that want to play Hot Shots Golf together. Feel free to connect with me if you need to know how. In any case, let's go on. Now for the weird stuff. Gaiscioch Athletics. We support 2 teams over 5 seasons per year. We've won 3 championships in 2018. This is the first time that we've ever won 3, 2 of which were in the same season. We had 2 different teams running. Both teams won the championship. And I fulfilled my life goal of suiting up for a game. So literally, I suited up for a game. And it was just happened to be the rainiest day of the year. So there I am, pouring down rain. Really sucked, but it was fun. It was so worth it. And got a lot of laughs. So let's go ahead and jump into Gaiscioch by the numbers. Got some fun facts here. This year we hosted 3,069 events. Yeah. Can your guild say that? Yeah, we sure can. 3,069 events. That's a lot of events, guys. You have gone above and beyond trying to entertain audiences, and that's just crazy when you think about it. We celebrated 24,000 victories. That's different objectives that we set out to conquer, and we conquered. 24,000. That's pretty cool. We fulfilled 4,785 marketplace orders. That's when somebody requests an item, say, hey, I need some wooden boards. Can you help me get some wooden boards? And someone comes back and say, sure, I can get you wooden boards, and they fill out that work order for you. 4,785 times that happened. With our community events, people are able to donate items, and those items go into the prize pool for the various community events that we run. 48,621 of those were donated this year, so that was pretty huge. We hosted 545 live streams. I'm not sure how many streamers do that, but we did. We had 270 new members. We had an annual active membership of 1,261, and our lifetime memberships climbed up to 7,942 people, which is pretty cool. So we can take a look at the active population, and one of the things that we've seen is as games lifespan goes beyond, each time that we get an expansion, it'll jump up, and then it'll drop back down. That's kind of the life of it. The more expansions, the more it jumps up, jumps back down. People usually will log in around the time of an expansion, start playing it, and then go away again. So I've basically compared the 2016, 2017, 2018. The green line is 2018. So you can kind of see where we were the year before and where we are now. A lot of the 2016 is still coming off the coat train of the big boom that we had with Rift moving into GW2 and ESO. So we had pretty steep declines back then. So here's our active game population. I only did our big 2 chapters, Guild Wars 2 and ESO, and then the social adventures. So social adventures are continuing to kind of build some steam. As new adventures open up, more and more people do it. We usually will see a drop come September when school lets back in, and then it'll start coming back up through the winter, and then we'll drop back down around January timeframe when everyone's traveling for their holidays and whatnot, and then it'll jump back up as the springtime comes around until about summertime, and then it'll start dropping down again. That's kind of the wave that we ride. And of course you will see little spikes when the big DLCs and when the expansions come out. Social media growth, everything is going up. The only reason Twitter went down was back in, I think it was September. Twitter did a big purge of all their dummy accounts, like people were creating fake accounts and all this crap. And illicit accounts, and all those accounts got wiped. So everyone's got those removed from their follower list. So we dropped down from 913 to 863, but have been climbing up ever since. Everything else is just kind of on a steady incline, so that's been going well. So here's our player playstyle preference. Now, we're going to ask you guys this question in a little bit, but for now, I wanted to let you guys see this. So basically, when you fill out your Gaiscioch profile, you can select which stuff are you interested in. 55.6% of you said PvE, 44.4% of you said PvP. Now looking at the objectives taken, so this is the map of since 2008 till now of how many PvP objectives have been claimed. Now the thing about this is, the more PvP leaders we have, the more objectives get claimed. The less PvP leaders we have, the less objectives get claimed. So this isn't necessarily how the community sees the stuff. It's about how many people are leading these type of events. So look at this one if you want to say, hey, you know what, 44% of the people are interested in playing PvP. So let's do that. So for PvE, here you go. Now, if you look at 2010 to 2012, that's our Rift stage. There was an immense amount of stuff being done in Rift with PvE. So that's where that all comes from. Now here's the charts and how we've crossed over time. So as Warhammer said goodbye and Rift said hello, our chart flipped. And everything went from everyone wants to PvP to everyone wants to PvE. And then that didn't really start climbing until we hit GW2 and reintroduced PvP into the world. We climbed up to about 47%. ESO came out, and things started spreading out a little bit more. So now we're at like an 80-20 split of what's claiming what. So, but again, that has to do largely with how many people are running said events. So if there were more PvP leaders running events, there would be likely be more objectives claimed, which narrowed that gap. Right now, we don't have a whole lot of PvP events being run. So, next stage of the poll and next patch. Let's see, which do you prefer? There are 2 questions here we'll go through. And let me get that queued up for you. Let's see what you prefer, PvE or PvP. gsch.info/poll to cast your vote. There you guys go. I made it so you can claim both if you wanted to. So hit refresh and then you can do both. Right, so far it looks like about 15% of you like PvP. 86% of you like PvE, which is kind of exactly what I've been thinking. And this is kind of one of the things that I'll touch on a little bit later in how we decide what chapters to go after. There's a lot of interesting things. Oh, Kitty, you can't revote? Okay. Well, it's alright. And I just wanted to see the overall percentage-wise anyways. Let's go ahead and go to question number 3. Alright. Go ahead and cast your votes on what type of activities you guys like. Yeah, I figured somebody would be voting for Fashion Wars. I knew you people. We spend way too much time being fashionable in video games. All right, looks like we got our 45 voters that voted last time and voted this time. And we have pretty much a high set with the exploration and questing. Um, Group-wise, we have world bosses as a big focus. We have achievements as a big focus, and raids are there with 7.8, dungeons 9.9. That's pretty much the highest group activity. Siege warfare is a 6.2%, and then SPVP down there with 3.2%. I will post all these stats after the fact as well, so that people can check them out, see what they think. And let's go ahead and have everybody press X again for another raffle. Looks like Mathol won the second patch. Congratulations, I will connect with you after and get you your patch. So next up, I wanted to kind of share with you guys a little bit of the gamer's perspective of what's going on in the industry today. This is kind of a big one, so you're going to have to bear with me. I did draw you some pictures, though, so you're going to get some bug art here. First up, we see the rise and fall of trends. This is something I've explained to a lot of people, and on my next slide, I'll actually have a little chart for you guys. So, but over the last 20 years, we've seen the rise and fall of game genres. Uh, Whenever some game comes around and sends this big echo, says, "Hey, we made a lot of money," everybody else jumps on the bandwagon and tries to make a lot of money, which eventually leads to that genres drying up and all the funds for it go away. So we saw this with Doom back in the first-person shooter days, Counter-Strike with tactical first-person shooters, Diablo, the action RPG, Warcraft, RTS, World of Warcraft, MMO, everybody knows. World of Warcraft pretty much ate the cash cow when it came to MMOs. League of Legends did the same thing with MOBA, Farmville, mobile games. Overwatch, FPS MOBA, Ark Survival, and Fortnite Battle Royale. All these big fish pretty much were the top of the food chain and ate up the pie, and then everything else came out. Candy Crush is another very good mobile one, but the more that come out, the less profitable it is for everybody. So this is an example of what happened with Battle Royale. You had Hunger Games come out, huge success in America. You had Battle Royale come out years and years and years before that over in Japan, and it was a huge success. Led DayZ to say, hey, let's make a video game based on this kind of concept of having a Battle Royale. They made 5.1 million. Now, think about innovators. They aren't the ones that make the money. The people that make the money are the people that take the innovator's idea and adapt it to kind of a more marketing scheme. Somebody with more experience comes along, like WoW is a prime example. They take all the good things out of EverQuest, Ultima Online, Dark Age Camelot, Warhammer Online, and they put it into their own game, give it a great UI, they know how to market products. Boom, next thing you know, they're the biggest fish on the block. Battle Royale did this, or PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds did this. They made 390 million. Congratulations. Well, Fortnite says, oh yeah, you can do that. We can do it better. So they come out with their llama whacking Battle Royale fun and earn 1 billion in their first year. So, you know, all the other game companies out there going, oh my god, Fortnite earned $1 billion. Let's get a piece of that pie. So, yeah, this year alone, there are 326 games listed in the Battle Royale section of Steam. That's just Steam. That's not even including things that aren't on Steam. So 326 games are all jumping into that pie. They're all pulling the individual people. Those $1 billion worth of people are getting stretched across all of those games. The further they stretch, the less profitable the whole genre becomes. Eventually, it turns into a toxic cesspool where no investor in the right mind is going to invest in a game that is in that genre because there's way too much competition, not enough profit. So even though this industry is expected to make $12.6 billion this year, that $12.6 billion is going to be divided among all the different battle royale games, and that industry is eventually going to crumble, just like it did with when WoW came out and everybody started making clones of WoW, and there was a million games out there. And then what happened in the last 5 years? We saw next to no MMORPGs coming out of Worth, and that really sucked. Now the interesting thing is as this progresses, so if we were to slide this chart over to the left and say, okay, what happens 5-10 years from now? Well, somebody's going to take that idea, just like Counter-Strike did with Doom. Both of them are first-person shooters, but somebody built something better, and they innovated on it. So we had that new wave of innovators taking an old idea and making it new, and then this whole process starts over again. So we're kind of starting to see that in MMOs. So we have a whole new wave of innovators, not to mention any names, but Ashes of Creation, Chronicles of Valeria, Legends of Area. These guys are all building new concepts that have never been tried. Now, these guys might not be the early majority or the early adopters. They might be the innovators, which means that their profits might be lower than what's going to come next after them. But they are the innovators coming in the industry trying to make something different. So it's going to be an interesting year. So the stars have finally arrived, or aligned. We are at the doorway of the Western MMORPG renaissance. Asia just gave it their best, and we had a little boom of Asian MMOs come over here to the West and say, hey, we're here, play Black Desert, play Bless Online. And we were like, oh, okay, wait, I kind of miss my Western MMOs. So a bunch of Western MMOs decided, you know what, let's answer that call. We're going to stand up and start making some games. And then this year, back in May or March, one of the M months, China's like, you know what? We don't want any foreign new games here. Slam! The doors went down. No new games allowed to enter the Chinese market. Now, China was ranked #1 market in the world for video games. What do you think that did to developers? Yeah, their games can no longer go to the #1 market. So what's the #2 market? Oh yeah, the good old United States. They're the number 2 global market. That's where all the money's at. So what are we going to do? We're going to shift our focus from making games to the east to making games to the west. And now even the Asian MMOs are looking to the west to make games. So this is a very good thing for us Western MMO fans, because even the Eastern games are becoming Western MMOs. So this is a good thing. So this has primed the West for a surge of innovative MMO titles, looking to give the industry a shot of adrenaline. More than 15 MMOs are planned to launch this year alone. 2019 comes, boom, 15 MMOs. We haven't seen a year like that in, a decade, I would say. So we are poised to cover them all in some shape or form. Every single one of the MMOs that are coming, we're going to try to write articles about. We're going to try to do live streams about. We're going to see if the community is interested in playing some of them. So we're going to have a good time. So let's talk about the future of Gaiscioch. First big thing is the changes to our community. We're going to be reducing the chapter size requirement of guild sizes from 300 to 500. We've been shrinking for years and years and years trying to get this number down because all of the new MMOs, there is not a single game on the horizon that allows more than 500 people. That allows more than 300 people. In fact, a lot of these games don't even allow 100 people in a guild. So we've had to kind of think about our strategy and realize we can't be a 1,000-person guild going into, Ashes of Creation that only allows 300 characters per guild. There's just no way to make that work without losing all my hair. So we need to go small. We need to get small. We need to think about the people that are in our community and build relationships with people. So we're going to be focusing more on creating lasting relationships, friendships, being closer knit as a community, and working on, that revolving roster that we set up for Guild Wars 2 worked phenomenally. We deployed it to ESO, we deployed it to Warhammer. It's working perfectly. Whoever's the new person on the block comes in, they need it. they need an invite, we invite them, we remove whoever's been away the longest. It's just constant cycle. When that person comes back, they say, hey, I need a reinvite, boom, they get back in, we remove whoever's been away the longest. It's just like a revolving door, and people always can get an invite any time of the day, and we're going to do that with all the future games. So whenever we go into a new chapter, if they have a guild size of 300, anything lower than 300 might be a little tedious, but anything with 300, we're going to be rotating people in. Should be pretty well. The other thing is the weighted chapter scorecard. So just like we saw before when I asked, how many of you guys are into PvP? How many of you guys are in PvE? I'm taking that into consideration when we look to chapters to open up. So if we have a chapter potential coming up and it's like full PvP and only 25% of the population plays PvP, we're not going to give that the same score as we would a PvE game that measures the same point value but is PvE based when 75% of the population wants to play PvE. So we'd be going to the PvE one, not the PvP one in that sense. But we wanted to kind of build a scale that will scale with us. So as we gain more PvP players and want more PvP, we'll be looking at chapters that are more PvP focused. If we have more PvE people, we'll start looking at chapters more PvE focused. So we just kind of want to make it a little more dynamic and kind of appeal to the people that we have. So chapter adjustments. This has actually been in position for a little while now, but large chapters are 250 plus people. At the time it hits below 250, we downgrade it to a legacy chapter. This is where it stays until it hits 50 people. When it hits 50 people, we downgrade it to a historical chapter, and pretty much there's no new development for historical chapters. They basically just have the same functionality they've always had, and then they're there to basically rekindle those memories. They can grow back and forth, so they can become a legacy chapter again once they're a historical chapter. They can become a chapter again after being a legacy chapter. Just depends on where the people are. So our role going into the future, we're going to continue to create fun and memorable adventures for all to enjoy. Our events are never going to be closed. They're going to be open to the public. We want to encourage everybody, regardless of the guild or background, to come play with us. Assisting new players in learning about the game through events and writing informative guides. We've got a great team of guide writers that are doing this for multiple games, even games that we don't play. Like Gmod just wrote a guide about Pirate 101. I don't play that, but that's really awesome, and the gaming community over there love that guide. Jerome has written dozens of guides for games that we don't even play, but they're huge, and we help that player base grow. So we're going to continue writing guides, trying to be as informative as we can, be a service to the gaming industry. We're going to be welcoming new players through welcome kits and mentorship. We're going to be an active role in protecting the well-being of our server and game community. We take server pride very seriously, so we will do everything in our power to make sure that the feeling when you join Sanctum of Roll or you join our server is a good one. We want you to experience the game in its best. So you won't find trolls in a rank. If you find a troll, let me know. I'll be happy to remove them. And as I've said time and time before, be the players you'd like to meet. This is very important. We want to be that guy that comes out of nowhere and saves your butt in a fight. We want to be that person that just drops random goods on you just because. That's just kind of who we are. We're the classy people that like to help others. So here's where things get fun. You guys ready for what's coming in 2019? I think you might be ready. You guys ready? I think so. Alright guys, if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. This is just the lineup of confirmed social adventures for 2019. We have Ashes of Creation, Anthem, Air or Ascent, Infinite Realm, Reach, Camelot Unchained, Profall, Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen, Legends of Aria, Torchlight Frontier, Project TL, Conqueror's Blade, Rune, and Chronicles of Elyria. These are just this year's games. So one of these games might even turn into a chapter. We'll see. Hopefully it lines up. We'll see. Could be fun. In any case, I want to kind of give you a rundown. You saw all of these games in that trailer. So that was kind of a preview of what's to come. Now we're going to actually go into each one of these and kind of tell you why we're looking at them. Alright everybody, Ashes of Creation is definitely our front runner for chapter selection. This is going to take a lot of review and seeing if it in fact meets our goals and is something that everybody wants to play. So it does have PvE, dungeons and raids. It does have territory rewards and siege PvP. In fact, you can even get a monster token and become a monster legion that sieges a castle like ours, and it could be fun. So the cool thing is, crafting and housing is very important in this game. So we're definitely gonna need some of those crafting people that checked off that little checkbox and feel that did housing. All of that's going to be important. There is no fast travel, so everything from siege weapons to everything else is going to have to travel with you from one place to the other, which is going to take time. It's not going to be something that happens instantly. It's not going to be fast. So it's going to be a little different from what we're used to in PvP, where, you know, like Guild Wars 2 kind of feels like Call of Duty, and ESO kind of feels like Battlefield. This is going to be like bigger than ESO. So it's going to be literally an hour to move our stuff from one place to another. So it might be a little too much, it might not be enough, don't know. Well, we'll have to check it out. As we move into beta, beta is supposed to hit sometime in April timeframe. We're going to start streaming it. We're going to start showing some of the cool stuff going on. We're going to review it with you guys. You guys are going to be a part of the decision-making process. We want you guys to be on board. So if you're interested in learning more about Ashes of Creation, go to gsch.info/play/KOC. That will jump you over to the information for that. Next up, All right, everybody, that is probably my closest vote for a potential chapter out of the East I have ever seen. It has everything from massive fights to taking on giant titans, airships, it has flying, it has falling, lots of people can fall and hit the ground and go splat. That's my favorite thing in the whole world, as you all know. And it is from the developers of PUBG and Terra. So, could be good. They made two other good games that are still around today. Could actually be a good, fun one. So, I'm not ready to jump on board and say this is definitely something that we could look at to be a chapter. But if you guys were interested in this, and there was a lot of excitement going on around the time that it started getting in betas and stuff, it would definitely be one that I consider. It has pretty much something for everybody. It has hunting grounds, it has dungeons and raids, it has RVR, airborne RVR, in fact. Wealth of PvE and PvP content, so it could be a great all-around choice. If you're interested in checking out more, gsch.info/play/air. It is going into alpha over in Korea this year, which means it might not be coming west for a year, maybe two, but we should start seeing the beta at least, so that should be good. In any case, I will be streaming it as soon as I can get my hands on it. I look forward to showing you everything I can there, even if I don't understand what I'm clicking on. So I will be checking that one out. So that one is from our buddy over at City City Entertainment, Mark Jacobs. He is the original creator of Dark Age of Camelot, well, one of few people that went into creating it. So he knows his stuff when it comes to siege warfare and territory control. This is going to be a PvP intensive game, very crafting intensive game. Those are the only two ways that you're going to progress your character. And from what he was telling me a couple years ago when we met, your progression is going to basically come in a batch overnight. So whatever you do during the day, you won't see the progress during the day. Overnight is going to actually is when everything will get put to your account. So it'll be interesting to see how this finally shapes up. It is a return to Celtic folklore, which is exciting. The character models are vastly better than what you saw in the video. This was a pre-alpha video. They don't really have a quote trailer of the new content from the beta on out. It is currently in beta, so if you wanted to get involved and play it now, you could. Just go to gsch.info/play/cu. I'll type that out for you guys to learn more. And on to our next one.
Chronicles of Elyria is one of the first new massively multiplayer emergent online living worlds. It's something different than what we've seen before. It's kind of a completely new genre for an environment that allows players to experience an ongoing immersive story where they're not only actors and agents in the story, but they actually have control of the narrative in a way that makes them feel like there's a reason for them to log in every single day. The Soulborn engine, at its core, is designed to be a system that pays attention to what's going on in the world around it. And as players do things, whether or not that's gather a lot of wealth, wander from one village or settlement to another, farm their fields, whatever the players are doing, the engine pays attention to that and use that as an opportunity to spin fantastic story arcs that can really change up what the player was planning to do.
You can build something, you can destroy something, you can craft something, you can do combat. All of these different options are available to you, but there's also a purpose to what you're doing in the game. It's good storytelling to put people in uncomfortable situations or to push them beyond their limits. And that's, I think, what is really going to set Chronicles of Elyria apart.
The idea with most MMOs is that they're either theme park or sandbox games, but they're really two sides of the same coin. So what we're trying to do with Chronicles of Elyria is to create a world where, through the player's actions, they have not only a strong narrative that's created by us as well as through them, but they have a reason to use the toys in the sandbox.
Design has a pretty deep requirement for this game, which is good because it creates a platform for the players to be able to have a deep level of customization for their characters, and this helps kind of create that level of immersion and get the players engaged in their game. You get to pick out your undergarment. You can wear a pair of pants and wear a shirt, and then on top of that we can have armor, we can have customized insignias and embroidery.
What you're crafting depends on what it's made of, the tribe you come from, their method of crafting things. It still has to be consistent with that tribe. We reference the real world, of course, then try to integrate whatever it is we create that's custom to Elyria into that real world feel in a seamless way, visually as well as within the technical limitations of game development. Any project you embark on, you're going to be faced with a lot of puzzles to solve. Whatever choice we make helps solve that puzzle, not create more pieces.
The things that you do in the world and the activities that you take on can affect your body state, so we're taking into account overeating or you know, being in an area where there's not a lot of food. And some tribes tend to be in an area where it's more lush and they are going to eat better, or there's tribes in areas where they have to lift a lot of stuff and they're buff. And so our character in the world, our actual asset, is the same asset that we would use for all 12 tribes and all different types of body systems. So this would allow us to extend this one asset into any type of look that we want to do for the game.
To make animations feel real in Chronicles of Elyria, we pull from a lot of video reference, as well as all the animators shoot mocap. Since our game isn't super stylized or cartoony, we can pull from a lot of video reference of animals, otters, bears, rabbits, dogs, cats, everything. We'll make various sets of animations for the animals: idle, grazing, alerted, attacks, death,
if we're trying to create a game that's different than the other games that are out there, we have to go about doing it in a different way. And if we follow the same formulas, we're going to end up with a game that costs us the same amount to make, and it's going to be just as expensive, require just the same number of people, and it's also going to come up with a product that's very similar in the end game. And we want something that's different. We're actually developing our MMORPG, for lack of a better term, with multiple clients. One that's our Unreal client that allows the players to get in and see the world in that kind of rich, very dark and gritty and high fidelity Unreal look. It looks really good, it feels very realistic, but at the same time we have another version of the client we're working on, which is a simpler voxel based client that's actually web based, and that one is actually important from a studio perspective because it allows us to define gameplay mechanics, features of the engine and things like that very, very quickly and get it in the hands of the players so that they can give us feedback as early as possible.
Our iteration speeds are very much a focus of our engine development. We want to make sure that we're not having to bring down the entire tech stack and start it back up anytime we fiddle with game variables or oftentimes even game code. That means we have to parse the changes that happen, apply them to the entities in the scene, so we have that working flushed out through the server and the client, which really speeds up our game development process.
Chronicles of Valyria is a game that so far is about a year in active development. We've got a team of experienced engineers, content creators, artists, and animators. The majority of our leadership team have actually worked on multiple MMOs themselves in the past, and we're really looking forward to getting this in the hand of the players so that they can see what it is that we're trying to create and so they can realize our vision.
We want to make sure that people are not just players of the game, but they are also contributors to the project.
We have a very committed community. You know, even though we're only about 150,000 online members in our registered website, they're still actively engaged in what we're doing, and they're already playing the Dance of Dynasties. The politicking and intriguing that happens in Chronicles of Valyria that allows the aristocracy and the nobility to kind of move around. It's kind of the game inside of the game, but it's that game that people want to play who are knights, noblemen, and noblewomen, and they're already playing that. We've got kings and queens and dukes and duchesses that have pledged to be part of those kingdoms and are already actively recruiting people in their communities to come and join the community. A lot of games have come and gone, and really what makes an MMO successful long term is that critical mass, especially at launch. And if we can reach that critical mass where we've got enough gravity that players really feel like they can stay there, that they can call it home, then I think that's going to make all the difference.
This is a rare opportunity for the studio and the community, players and fans to create something together that is going to change the world. Not just Illyria, but probably Earth as well. We haven't found anything that does exactly what Chronicles of Valyria is trying to do or what Soulbound Studios is trying to achieve. But the team here is totally committed to getting this dream out the door in player hands and to experience a renaissance of the role-playing genre where you actually play a role of your choosing. And that's our gift to the world and ourselves.
Alright, so Chronicles of Valyria is the next on the list. This is another one that we've been looking at for a potential chapter. The only thing that kind of has us scared is the pay-for-life system and the permanent availability of being killed by another player. It has PvE content, has PvP content. Self-governing territories allow you to banish people from your realm. So if we were in charge of a city and there was a jerk on the city, we can say, you're banned here, our guards will attack you on sight, people will get rewarded for killing you. And the other thing is when you log off, your character sleeps in the game world. So your character's still there. If you don't have a safe bed to sleep in, you can be killed out in the wild. So if somebody is being a jerk and they go be a jerk to everybody, they'll have nowhere to call home. They'll have nowhere to sleep where it's safe. They will have to sleep outside where they can be killed and everything taken. So that's kind of the downside of being a jerk. So this will be interesting. As I said, this is still early development. They should have a beta this year coming out, 2019. We'll see. And it's a medieval simulator. The jousting is super fun. I'm hoping that they stick the jousting part into its own little game, stick it out there on Steam or something ahead of time, let people start getting familiar with it, and that would help market the rest of the game. Jousting is super fun. You gotta try it. In any case, if you're interested, gsch.info/play/COE will jump you to their site. Look forward to seeing you there. Snowfall. A lot of you guys were interested in this a few years ago. We have been following it ever since. I did get a chance to stream some of it. Probably be streaming some more of it here in the future. It is PvE and PvP based. You can create your own private servers and have it set to PvE or PvP. You can also join the campaigns, which live and die. The actual world eventually dies. It's made by the creators of Shadowbane. So if you remember a good old Shadowbane, you might be familiar here. There are several different factions you could join up with. Those are going to be in here eventually. But the main thing is explore, build, and conquer. You can definitely craft a lot of stuff in this game. It is kind of a little survival-y, so you will have to eat and get food and make arrows and make weapons and do all that stuff that you expect to do in a survival game like Ark or Conan Exiles or any of those. So if you're interested in that, check out gaiscioch.info/play/crow. I will have a group of us playing it to some extent. Not sure how big it's going to be. We'll see. Hopefully we get some people. If so, we'll do some weekly events and have some good times. If not, well then it'll probably just be a few of us putzing around, having a good time, streaming here and there. You never know. In any case, next one, I am very excited about. This is the first Eastern game that's come west that actually truly fascinates me. So here you go.
Sages say that peace is only a precursor to war. We are born of different cultures, rallying under different houses, laying waste to neighboring lands. We command our armies to destroy all in our path. As we remake the world, everyone is expendable, as long as the house prevails. Our ways and weapons are as diverse as our origins. In battle, an army is both shield and sword. Lead them, trust them, and the enemy will tremble at the sight of our banners. Our machines of war are the fiercest in all the land. Armies and walls are nothing but ants and rubble against their might. Together we stand against all odds. Warlords united under the same banner. All we own and all we've built, we've done so by conquering the weak and trading with the strong. Our lands flourish. What are the spoils of this war, you ask? The worm.
Alright, so the first thing I will tell you about this game is this is the first time that I've seen actual PvE sieges in a game. Yes, there are PvE as well as PvP sieges in this game. So if you do not like playing other players, even though I think if you gave the PvP a try in this one, you would be fascinated. Because you don't feel like you're alone. You got your troops, got your back. Some elite player comes in and tries to whack on you, you just send your troops after him, and then he's facing 1v50. You know, it's glorious. And you actually feel like you have a chance to fight. So the big thing I've complained about in MMOs, and you've heard me complain about it, is that the modern MMO, the fight lasts less than 5 to 10 seconds. A fight in Conqueror's Blade will likely last about 15, 20, sometimes even a minute long. That you don't die very fast in this. So you will have a chance to learn from your experience. That's the thing that a lot of modern MMOs are missing, is that you only learn in that window of time that you're engaged in that combat. So if you're only living 5 seconds, you got 5 seconds to learn a lesson. Do you learn anything? No, you don't. You don't learn anything. You just learn, oh, I suck, I'm going to quit playing. That's all you learn. But if you have a chance to fight somebody, 30-second long fight, you will learn, oh, if I press number 2, it does this, and he doesn't like that. It gives you a chance to get better and improve. So this game really kind of hits that home. It really puts you in a situation where you have a chance to learn. It is an action RPG combat. There's a full world to explore, huge territories to claim with your house and alliance. We already have a registered house. It is called Tuatha, and it is a partner venture between us, a few guys from HOL, a few guys from Wild, and the good buddies over at Relic. We're all joining forces to enter this game and have a good time. We're going to form up an alliance called Tuatha as well. So we'll have the house Tuatha where all the heads of the houses will sit. We'll probably roll out a Gaiscioch variety over there as well, have all our members in there as well, and we'll be all linked together. It's a giant alliance, have a great time to play. It plays a lot like Mount & Blade, so if you are a Mount / Blade fan, you will definitely be familiar here. Full territory controls. The only downside right now is it's region locked to NA/EU, so if you want to play it, go get yourself a VPN. You didn't hear it from me. VPN. What? Did I say that out loud? Yep. Go get yourself a VPN, quick. You can register at gaiscioch.info/play/cb. They are in betas right now. Pretty much almost every weekend they're hosting a beta for some reason or another. And it's a lot of fun. I cannot put this game down. It's probably the most fun I've had in an Easter game yet. So do check it out. Our Tuatha house is almost full. We have 3 spots left. So go over to the houses after you register. Look up Tuatha, Tuatha, and definitely check it out. You can get one of those 3 spots. If you do a Founders Pack after joining our community, you get a 15% discount. So check that out.
Here we stand, defending the walls of civilization. The strongest, the bravest, the best. But beyond those walls, there are vicious goblin hordes, ready to make us their next meal. The land and skies are filled with heartless scavengers, corrupted by ember. Massive infestations of mindless beasts, consuming everything in their path. Shambling, unearthed dead, clutching at the living. Unspeakable horrors from beyond the grave. They all outnumber us, and they've cornered us. But they've also underestimated us. And now, you are here. Remember, Torchlight! Free the frontiers!
Alright, now this one was a surprise. So this one just got dropped like a few months ago, and they're like, hey, guess what, guys? We're making this Torchlight Frontiers MMO. And we're like, what? Are you kidding me? Oh, and by the way, the original creator of Diablo and the original Torchlight is involved. Just saying. And we're like, oh my god. It's going to be like 5 years before we see this game. That's a bummer. And then they're like, oh, by the way, it's going into alpha this fall. What? Are you kidding me? This has been in development the whole time. We didn't know about it. Yes, Torchlight Frontiers literally is dropping alpha in December. Yeah, sign up now over at the Torchlight site. Just gaiscioch.info/play/torchlight. Get on over there, register, sign up for alpha. You might get picked. You might be there saying, hey, Fog, this was totally awesome. Thanks for inviting me. And I'll be like, dude, I never got my invite. How is it? And then you're like, sorry, bro, NDA. And I'll be like, oh, man, it is sucking. But, you know, hey, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. So this is a free-to-play MMORPG. It is action RPG combat, just as you would expect in any kind of Diablo or Torchlight or, let's see, Darkstone. Who remembers Darkstone? Anyone? Darkstone? Anyone? Nope? Okay. So it's very fast-paced, action-oriented, lots of exploding, flashing lights, good stuff. Now, cool thing is they got this thing called relic weapons, and these level up with you. So as you progress through the game, your weapons will start leveling up. and they'll get better, and you can give skill points to your weapons and stuff. So it's kind of a neat idea. Instead of you leveling your weapon levels, so that's kind of cool. You will build your own fort with crafting station and pet stables. It's kind of like their version of guild housing. So check that out. gsch.info/play/torchlight. I can't believe this game's coming this year. Nerd Rage. What? It's going to be fun. See you there.
Rise, warrior. Your time has come again.
So this little game called Rune, you might have remembered the original Rune. That was the first game ever where you can roll your axe across the room, chop some dude's arm with, run over, pick up the dude's arm, and then beat his friend with his arm. Yeah, that was that game. You remember that? It was like 90s, good old heyday. Yeah, there was a little game called Rune. It was fun. It was on the, I believe, the Unreal Engine, in fact, the early days. And it was quite the little adventure. Well, they decided to make a survival-style game based on the same idea. And the same team, guys that created that one, are back at it again, creating this one. So it is PvE and PvP content. There's quests, there's epic things to do, there's huge creatures to fight. It's a survival game with a combat focus rather than a PvP focus. So instead of walking into the world butt naked and saying, oh man, I gotta make myself a bow, I'm gonna go punch this tree 1,000 times. Hey, I got some wood! Yeah, now I need a rock. How do I get a rock? Oh, I guess you bend over and pick one up. Instead of doing all that crap, you just go, hey, look, there's a squirrel. Boom, got the squirrel. Yay, food, eat. And then I can go, oh, look, there's a bad guy. I'm gonna go punch this bad guy. Oh, he has an axe. He's holding an axe in his hand. So I punch him, I take his axe. Oh, look, he's got clothes on. Put his clothes on. What you see, you can get off the guy. So if the guy has a shiny blue weapon, you kill that guy, you get his shiny blue weapon. It's pretty easy. It's not rocket science. You're not going to find a giant halberd stuck up a squirrel's rear end. No. You kill a squirrel, you're going to get meat. That's it. Sorry. That's all you're getting. No halberd. You know? So it's nice in the fact that you don't have to focus all your time on punching trees before you actually get to fight something. This is huge. So we are going to have a Gaiscioch private server. I have prearranged it with a fellow member that is interested in hosting the server. If not, I will actually pony up the bucks to have it. So we will actually have a server named Gaiscioch. You guys will be welcome to play. It'll be a PvE private server. I'll be happy to distribute the code. Once we find out how many people are interested, then we'll decide whether or not we'll open it up to the public. But we're going to build and craft hundreds of items and buildings and explore and fight a lot of things and, you know, take down a bunch of big epic creatures. And I'll be streaming it for sure. So check out gsch.info/play/rune for more information. Look forward to seeing you there. Alright everybody, Project TL, also known as Project The Lineage. Yes, this is Lineage Eternal's successor. So originally they had Lineage Eternal, and then they're like, let's make it bigger. So they made it bigger. And as you can see, it's looking pretty cool. I mean, this is definitely one of those titles where I feel is kind of taking the ARPG slash MMO to the whole new level. You play something like The Villain, or play something like Path of Exile, and then you look at this, you're like, wow, that's like a decade of advancement right there. It's pretty insane. So I feel like this is kind of where that evolution is going. There's one more competitor I'll mention later that is going to try to give the Lineage a run for its money, but my money's on the Lineage. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be pretty epic. It has huge castle sieges, PvE, PvP, MMO, so you can expect to be playing this with your friends. You can use the environment as a weapon, which I really like. You know, pull columns down on people, squish people, knock people off cliffs, make people run off cliffs. Yeah, anything involving a cliff, I'm in. Alright, so there's cinematic action. So there's a lot of, from what I can tell, there's scenes where you will start with a cutscene and then go into gameplay. That always kind of keeps that cinematic pacing going, which is kind of cool. And you'll see it in some other games, but I'm really interested to see how this one works in an MMO environment. I've seen a lot of single-player games do that, but I've never really seen an MMO pull it off successfully. So I'm going to wait and see if they can do it. I think that they can. I mean, they're the people behind the Lineage. I mean, that's still the most popular game in Korea today is the Lineage. I mean, it's insane. So definitely check it out. If you're interested, gaiscioch.info/play/PTL. You can get to their page, sign up for their newsletter, get informed. That one should be coming into betas this year over in Korea. They want to do a simultaneous worldwide launch, so we can expect the same thing coming this way. So check it out. It's by NCSoft.
In a world of adventure and magic, where peril lurks in every corner, and the elements themselves present a danger. Rise up and take arms. But bring friends.
Alright, so this one, Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, is kind of a throwback to those people that really loved the EverQuest era. People that play games where groups mattered. Everything wasn't soloable. Everything wasn't, let's just go do my own thing. This really requires you to pull together as a group and use your synergy between the various characters to be able to complete tasks. So it's very group focused. It's very social driven. So if you want to be part of a community and really bond with the people that you're playing with, this is going to be a good one for you. It has a player-driven economy. Death does take its toll, so you want to be calculated on your risk and reward there. There is a dual targeting system, which allows you to target a friendly and hostile, and like you had in Rift. You also had that in Warhammer Online. And then it's very PvE focused. I haven't really found any information about PvP at all in this game, so I don't know if it's there. I just haven't found it. So I don't think it's really what they're trying to go after. So I think they're really trying to harness that classic PvE gameplay, going on adventures with 6 of your friends or 7 of your friends and really completing some truly epic content. So it is from the makers of EverQuest and Vanguard, so you can look forward to playing this one. gsch.info/play/PROTF. Yeah, Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, abbreviated. And that, we definitely do have a bunch of people interested in playing this together. So you'll learn more about it on the Gaiscioch website, gsch.info. Click on the Adventure tab, go look at Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, you can see the people that are interested in playing, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Bad news, good people. There's been a dimensional breach, unleashing an army of mythical beasts and demons across the globe. Are you a night owl that lives to raise hell with your friends? You're gonna make a great necromancer. Or maybe you speak softly, carry a full clip. Let him rip, gunslinger. Ah, you got that PhD in quantum physics just so you could be chronically late for everything. Classic chronomancer. Oh, I see you're a razor-sharp sous chef with killer chopping skills. Chop chop, assassin. You like rooting for the bad guy, don't you, bad guy? Damn, Veil Demon. Whatever you are going into the breach, you won't be the same coming out.
Alright, this is one that just literally came out of nowhere and all of a sudden it's already doing betas. Like, they announced this like a few months ago. Like, literally, like 2-3 months ago. They said, hey, guess what? Breach is here from the fellow developers that were previously at BioWare. People that brought to you Mass Effect and Dragon Age are putting together this dungeon crawler ARPG that's 100% cooperative, 100% all around, serious boss kicking good time. It is not that bad. I've actually played it. I'm part of the beta. I likely will stream it later today. They have another beta that is able to be streamed. Yay! So I am going to be streaming this one for you guys. You guys can decide whether it's going to be for you or not. There are randomly created dungeon bosses, which kind of change every time that you play it. So that's going to be kind of cool. And there are literally dozens of classes to choose from. And it's kind of a, which one do you want to play today? How do you want to play? And you can switch between them. So it's a lot of fun. So if you're interested in that, gsch.info/play/breach. It is kind of a final game. I honestly, Kitty, don't hate me for saying this, I can sense a serious WildStar vibe with this one. Like when I was playing it, it actually made me miss WildStar. So you might enjoy this one. And as far as I know, there is no region locking on this one. It is free to play. So sign up for it. gsch.info/play/breach. Go there, sign up, get in the beta. It's pretty much everybody that signs up gets in the beta. I haven't seen anyone that hasn't, so do it. It's fun. Alright, for those that didn't know, there was a game called Shards Online years ago, and they rebranded it as Legends of Area. We originally brought 80 people into the very first beta to try to give it a run. We streamed it. It was an absolutely awful experience. But our feedback led them to build Legends of Area, and now they've seen what we've seen, and they realize that if given the opportunity, people will choose to be jerks. That's just the way it is. So they made safe places where you can't be killed, like your starter quest area. You can't be killed there. You have to venture into the PvP zones to get killed. And not only that, but you can build your own shards, and you can run your own private servers, and you can play with your friends there in a PvE environment that you can control. You say, hey, I don't like that guy. I'm going to kick him off my server. Bye-bye. And they're all linked together through these little portals. So you can jump from place to place to place. There's all kinds of different things that you can do here. Huge modding capability. I think that honestly they are launching a platform for adventure. This game, I guarantee you, 5 years after it launches, is going to be so much bigger than just the game itself. The modding community is going to have a field day. You can bring in your own assets. You can say, you know what, I'm going to make a sci-fi shard and use the same engine to build a sci-fi shard that you can just port right in, start playing a sci-fi. So there's nothing that you can't do. If you can dream it, you can build it. If you're interested in games like Ultima Online, but with a transformable face that can be anything you want, this might be a game for you. So check it out, gsch.info/play/LOA. I will be streaming this one come December, so check it out. I will definitely have a few streams up and see what you guys think. If you guys like it, then we might do some stuff. Maybe launch a private server, maybe do some modding. We'll see. It all depends on what you guys want. So let's go ahead and check that out. And we will go on to the next one. I think you're going to like this next one.
The gods vanished and left our world in chaos, creating, altering, destroying. The anthem is all that remains.
There's a storm coming. These walls can't protect us forever.
Something is out there. It wants to destroy us all.
Alright guys, Anthem, we all knew this was going to happen. There is a ton of buzz within the Gaiscioch about playing this one together. So we will likely have this running in PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 4, all playing it. If you want to connect with somebody doing it, I'm going to be throwing up the social adventure here in probably a month, when we get a little closer to launch. There will be people playing it, you can guarantee that. This is hopefully BioWare's best. We're crossing our fingers because BioWare makes great games. We want them to continue making great games, and everyone really wants to see that next Dragon Age. Alright? So we are really rooting for Anthem, and I'm really hoping it's as good as it seems. It looks fantastic. Can't wait to try it out. Single player story, multiplayer experience. This is going to be a cooperative game. Bring your friends and have a lot of fun. So I will personally probably be playing it on PS4. Love to connect with you guys and play it. We will be live streaming it as soon as it's available. And I know for a fact there's some good buddies of mine that are going to be playing on PC too. So hop on over there, check it out. Go to gaiscioch.com. Learn more about it. gaiscioch.info will get you to gaiscioch.com. Get to know we can spell it, even though it's at the top of the screen. Yeah. Someday people will learn. In any case, look forward to seeing it. Let's go ahead and jump over. I think the video portion is done. I've shown you guys enough trailers. I think I can let you guys rest for now. We also have all of these games coming out in the next couple of years. Middle-earth Online just announced this year. That one is going to be made by Athlon Games. You might be going, who the hell are these guys? They are... Leo Technologies is the parent company of the people that make games like Warframe, and also the company, they own the company that makes Gears of War. So they kind of know something about making games. It should be highly graphically pleasing. I've never seen one of their games not be highly graphically pleasing. So Middle-earth Online might be a lot of fun. That is kind of a title that I've made up because there's no official title yet. All we know is Middle-earth Enterprises signed with them to make a Middle-earth Online video game. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And in my very first poll, this little bad boy, 85% of the people that took it said that they would play that if we did it. So we are definitely looking at that one for a potential chapter. The other big one on the block, Magic the Gathering, the MMO. This is a full-fledged MMO that isn't a card game. It's being put together by Cryptic Studios and Perfect World, the people behind Neverwinter. Would be awesome. Could be a flop. Who knows? We're going to have to check it out. With the amount of lore that's invested into Magic the Gathering, I imagine they can make a pretty awesome MMO. So we're going to be checking that one out. New World from Amazon. No Colin Johansson. Where do you think he went? Yep. So we're going to be following him over there, checking out New World. We'll be streaming that as soon as the NDA lifts. Pagan Online. This one just announced last week. Wargaming.net making a medieval game? Wow, that's different. So check it out. Go over to Pagan Online, do a quick Google search, Wargaming.net. They have a little treat coming for us, probably, maybe next year, probably down the road. Lost Ark is another one by Smilegate. That is phenomenal. It looks a lot like the Lineage, but I don't know that it's going to be able to compete. We're going to see. We're going to put these side by side and say which one do you guys like most. You'll definitely be following that one. I'm hoping Lost Ark actually will make it to the West. No word yet whether it's coming West or not. Land of Britain, Potato Killer Studios. If you haven't checked out Fangold, that's their card game. That is helping fund the Land of Britain's creation. It's going to be another Tri-Realm RVR-based game with PvE included. So it's going to be Camelot Unchained, but with a PvE side. Mountain Blade 2, Pale Worlds Entertainment. If you don't know what Mountain Blade is, seriously, it's a classic. Go get it. You can get it for like $2. It's worth it. Check it out. Fractured. This is one that I crowdfunded myself. It's another kind of ARPG style game. A lot of fun. Check it out. Go look up Dynamite Studios with Fractured. We do have information on the Gaiscioch site, gaiscioch.info. And then Star Citizen. Everyone loves this game that's played it. I don't know. I still crossing my fingers that it doesn't flop because it is the most crowdfunded game of all time history of the world. And if it flops, it's going to mean very bad things for anyone looking to get funding through crowdfunding. So you better not fail, please. So it looks fantastic. I don't know how it plays. I haven't tried it yet. But, you know, it should be pretty good. Let's just hope it launches and doesn't flop. In any case, that's the games that we're looking at. There's a lot of them. Is there not? It's an insane amount. So, now we're going to our last poll question of the little while here. Yep. Which game Project TL is actually on the next slide. We're going to have one for future games because I'm not quite sure if that one's going to make the 2019 cutoff or if it's going to get pushed to 2020. So I kind of left that one after this. New World will definitely probably be hitting in 2019. We'll see. If you want to vote, go to gsch.info/poll. If you're watching right now, cast your vote. Which of these interests you most? Go ahead and vote for several of them. Let us know which ones you're interested in. We're kind of using this to gauge where we should be focusing our attention on, what games we should be writing reviews on, previews on, which we should be streaming. You name it, we're going to cover it. Tell us what we should be covering right here, right now. gsch.info/poll. Malagard asked if there was any games that have release dates this year. As in 2018, none of these. I think Conqueror's Blade will launch next year. It's in betas now. Rune will launch next year. It's in beta now. They have beta schedules through December with winter as their launch timeframe. Breach is in closed alpha. No, beta. It just went beta, I think. So Breach is in beta. I don't think they're going to launch before the end of the year, but they might. Torchlight Frontiers goes alpha next month, or at the end of this month, one or the other. Yeah, pretty much everything's looking like 2019 on this list. Alright, looks like the voting has simmered down. We definitely see that Ashes of Creation is the big interest. Anthem is actually really far up there. I suspected that would be the case. Torchlight Frontiers, Camelot Unchained, and Conqueror's Blade are all tied for that third spot. Ascent Infinite Realm actually did a heck of a lot better than it did when I first pulled it. I think now that you guys have seen it, you guys might be interested in playing it. Alright? Yeah, we are going to give that one a try. We're gonna do what we can in that and see how much interest there is. It's a fascinating game. So we're going to go ahead and give that one a go. The ones that people aren't really interested in, New World, you don't really have a trailer yet. I mean, there's not a whole lot of information that's publicly available. There's been a few leaks here and there, but that's about it. So once more information gets released on that, it might boost interest, might not. Who knows? And then Legends of Aria and Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, those kind of, I honestly feel like if you are an Ultima Online fan, you're going to love Legends of Aria. If you are an EverQuest fan or a Vanguard fan, you're going to love Pantheon. But if you didn't like either of those games, probably aren't going to like them. But, you know, we'll see. We're going to try them out. We're going to see what we think. We're going to stream them, see what people say, see what people are. If it interests you at that time, then we'll continue on. If not, we'll move on to other things. So, but the good news is, guys, this compared to the last couple years. Last couple years, we've had like 1, 2 games maybe. You know, if we're lucky. Usually, they're not even good games. And we're like, yay! There's a farm simulator game coming. Yay! Let's jump on this and drive around on this combine. It'll be a lot of fun. No, these are actual games that we can get excited about. And we had 13 of them this year that we can be really excited about. And that's something that we should be excited about. We should go into the next year and say, wow, we're going to have an epic time next year. Everyone, type X. You want to win a patch? Type X. You know you want to. That's for our Twitch viewers only. If you aren't on Twitch, go to gsch.info/Twitch. Jump on over there, type X really quick, and you can win a Gaiscioch badge. Look at all those X's fly by. Alright, let's roll. Pardo C. Nice. Alright, so now we are going to jump over to Discord and allow anybody and everybody to please join us. gsch.info/voice. You'll join us in the lobby, jump on down to the live Gaiscioch conference channel, and then we will feel free to let you guys open the floor, ask me questions. Anything's fair game. Feel free to come up with oddball questions if you like. I'm happy with whatever you want to ask out. So let's go ahead and introduce the crew. Welcome everybody. If you're watching on Twitch, mute me because I'm speaking double. So you want to mute the Twitch stream at this point, and we will just go full-fledged Discord. Welcome everybody. Are you guys jazzed about this year? Anyone?
Yes. Super excited.
I'm happy to
But
see
I
that there's
just
more.
can't hide it.
There's no words.
Private server.
Alright, Kitty, give us a rundown. What did you see?
Man,
Rundown. What did you see? What are you excited about?
nothing.
Wow.
Awesome.
The legendary Kitty, people. The legendary Kitty. Alright. If you want to ask a question, feel free to X up in general chat and I'll call on you. Otherwise, let's go ahead and just first person ask a question. Go ahead, Kitty.
Now, this is a trend I notice in Guild Wars 2, that what people are doing is instead of inviting people into one guild, they just shout their handle or character name in the Discord. And I was thinking, what if we can use Discord as an outside guild and we can get more people into the game? Any game.
Well, we already use our Discord publicly. Every event that we run, we post our Discord there. People are allowed to join and they're allowed to become members of our Discord, regardless of where they're at. It's definitely a possibility. That's why I started promoting it on live streams to get people involved and get people on Discord. It's really kind of the evolution of one of the things that I think is going to really help bring guilds together is the ability to communicate on a tremendously awesome platform that works on both web browsers, mobile, downloadable application on Mac, PC, Linux. It's pretty much anywhere you can access a web browser, you can access Discord. It has really simple URLs that you can post into chats. But yeah, I think that it's a great way to get people involved, and I think we already are using it for that purpose.
And the real question, what if I don't use the website as much, but I mostly use Discord? Am I still part of the community, or do I need to use the website?
Well, the website is how you tie yourself to the community. So you can't gain ranks within our community without using the website. You can't figure out what day our events are without using the website. So it's kind of your base camp. The website is essentially our house. If you never go to it, you're never going to know what's going on. You're not going to feel tied to the community. You're eventually probably going to drift away. That is just kind of the way that it works, because we're trying to build one place where you can get all the information you need to really embrace the idea of being a Gaiscioch. Whatever game we're playing, wherever you're going, if you need to know information, it's got to be on the Gaiscioch site. So that's going to be the way it is, because not everybody's going to use Discord. We don't have even a fraction of the people that are registered to Gaiscioch.com on Discord. Not even a fraction. Like it's literally maybe 25%, if that. And some people just don't want to talk. They don't want to be on voice. They don't want to be heard. They just want to, be in a group and run around and have fun. It's not something that you're going to be able to enforce on people. That's not our style. Anyone else have a question?
I did X up, which is sweet.
Go ahead.
So I obviously with it's a topic question dealing with Twitch. Are we looking to actually make a team, or if there is a team for Twitch, for members who are dedicated within Gaiscioch Play of how we get connected to that, or is that something that's being made in progress?
All right. Twitch teams are kind of a exclusive club. You got to be invited to it. None of our streamers are anywhere near where they need to be able to open up a Twitch team. We literally need, I think it's like 400 concurrent viewers on Twitch, like consistently, to be able to open a team. And Gaiscioch has been streaming for almost 7 years now, and we're not even over 1,000 followers. So there's no way in hell we're ever going to be able to open up a team. Not unless we get some serious support behind us. So it's not something that we can't do. We just need to definitely rally the Twitch subscriber base a bit before we can ever get there.
Follow-up question with that. Is there some type of toolkits for those to get access to, saying like a Gaiscioch, simple logo or anything like that that they can add to their overlay, which would help direct them to the main Gaiscioch Twitch streams?
You have the media kit that's available on our website in the media section. That will get you all the high-res logos. It'll link to our Google Drive where you can get all the press assets. A lot of those are made that way. You can just come talk to me, and I can help you set up the rest. I would be happy to host you. If you're a Gaiscioch streamer and want some more exposure, we can add you to our auto-host list. Always happy to add more people to that. But yeah, I can tell you right now, I'm not a pro streamer. I don't make a living streaming. I don't think I ever will. But it's something I do so that people can see an inside look at our community and see what we're up to and see what we're doing and see some cool games. But it's not something I'm doing as my job. It's not going to ever be something that I consider my job because then it just wouldn't be fun anymore. So, but yeah, happy to help anyone I can learn how to stream, get set up. Samethyst is a great example of somebody that I encouraged to start live streaming, and she, within her first 6 months, passed me, and now is like literally off to the races. One of the big time streamers out there. Happy to help anyone set up and get going. So feel free to come talk to me. I'm always in Discord. You see me on the top of the channel list over on the right. Just PM me. My phone's always on. You can always reach me. So feel free to hit me up. Anyone else?
Talk about the jousting in Chronicles.
Oh man, yeah. So here I am, sitting there at PAX West, and we're checking out Chronicles of Illyria. I just got done interviewing the good team over there about Chronicles of Illyria, writing an article about it, and Don's like, "Oh, you gotta check out this jousting stuff." I'm like, "All right, I'll go over there." So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I got a dev over my shoulder, kind of telling me how to do things. And I fall off a horse once. I'm like, okay, this is weird, and then I figured out. You can move your lance, but as soon as you click right, it's locked in place and you can't move it anymore. So I'm thinking, okay, so I end up locking it last second, and boom, there goes this rider on the other side of me. Totally laid him out. And then we go again, boom, again, breaking my lance off in his face time after time after time. And then we get done with the match, and I obviously won. And we go back to the guys, and they're like, "So how did you like jousting?" I'm all, "Well, it's a lot of fun, but you really got to up the AI." And Don looks at me and goes, "You jerk." The whole time it was Don on the other side of me. So yeah, poor Don. He's still today. Anytime I mention jousting, he's like, "Don't even go there."
Sounds like you guys should get the old school wooden horses and do it in the backyard.
Alright, so what else we got? Anyone else got a question? This is your chance. Ask me anything. Open floor. You don't want to talk, you can just type it, and I'll read it off and answer.
So some of those free-to-play, are they going to be microtransaction games?
Yes, all free-to-play games will have microtransactions in them. That's how they pay their bills and stay online. If they don't, they won't be around for long. Nobody makes games just because they can make games. Well, at least none of the AAA games are going to be made just because they like making games. They have to cover the amount of money it costs to run them and to build them and to operate them, and realize that most MMOs literally take 5 to 6 years to produce just to get it live. So if you think about having a staff of 50 people for 5 years without any revenue, and that's what you got to endure just to get an MMO live. They have to rely on those microtransactions or some other form of payment to be able to recoup those losses. Otherwise, they don't stay in business for long. They have to pay back those loans. And we just saw with Tryon Worlds, they couldn't repay their loan, so they ended up having to sell, and they sold the game ago. So they've got to do what they can to repay those losses, and the only way they do that is through the microtransactions. So if you want to support a game and you enjoy a game, you should make it your personal duty to help support them by buying something out of the cash shop. That's just like good form. You can't play something for free and expect it to be around forever. It won't be.
Yeah, that's essentially Guild Wars too. I mean, they've succeeded between expansions and then all of this content that they keep releasing. Even if you don't like it, someone else will. And that is definitely a front runner, at least on that aspect that I can say for Guild Wars too, of why it keeps flourishing.
Well, I like Guild Wars 2 microtransactions because it doesn't seem it's a pay to
You
except
only
for
win the
Fashion Wars.
Yeah, Fashion Wars. I was just gonna say that.
Well, there's a part play to win, but it's more so play to win versus elements. You get the little bonus kits that give you extra armor and damage, but that's more so fighting the element. At least it's not versus other players. So I do agree on that front.
And Doc, you could probably trace back your problem to a headset cable touching a power cord.
See, that's different. It's a desk mic. My headset and my desk mic, two separate cords.
And he hasn't had it. Yeah,
your mic is touching a power cord, I guarantee you, or a mouse cord.
Yeah, you moved something since this morning, dude.
That's the hum of.
I took a nap. I took a nap.
You slept on it.
Yeah, your cat ate it. I don't know.
You need to fix that before you stream again, or else I'm gonna just get on there and talk at you and put all sorts of remarks.
All right, Wolvane, you got a question. Want me to read it, or did you want to read it? All right. I mentioned a game I'm possibly going to beta test for, but I can't recall which one. But are there any requirements if any of us want to be a part of it? It's something I'd really love to try out. The biggest thing you can do if you want to start beta testing is start applying to all the games that are beta testing. Games like Ashes of Creation, I've tried to pull together lists of people to do, but they got so big and so popular, they don't really need it. So I don't know if they're going to pull us in or not, but we're there available if they need us. We do have a part of our website called The Pioneers. Look it up. It's under the membership section. You'll learn about becoming a pioneer. Those are our on-demand quality assurance testers that we offer free to any game studio that interests us. So if you have a product that interests us and you want us to test it, we will come in and break things, because that's what we do. We break things. Lots of things. Alright, who else? What we got? Who's got a question?
All right, Fog, I got a question. For those that still are interested in donating for Extra Life, is the link still up and available?
Yes, gsch.info/forthekids. That will go to the donate page. We are accepting donations all the way through December 1st, and would definitely enjoy some donations there to help those kids. Anyone else? Alright then, I think I've got one more big question for you guys. It's a really important question.
What does it have to do with tacos? We love Gaiscioch.
Has Fogletta led you to your death over a cliff? Come on, let's see. Who out there has been
Is there
massacred by
one
me?
with capital letters, exclamation points for 5 to 6 games?
Yeah,
Which
I was gonna
game?
say at least 5 or 6 games.
I think I was one of the luckiest ones
Which
to be
game haven't
part
I
of the
been
most
killed in some interesting way?
Okay, so Rift, we had this bridge in Scarwood Reach where I had the entire guild jump off of and try to land in this little puddle. That's supposedly you would be safe if you did that. This is when Rift had fall damage. And everyone jumped off, and we all died. And one
Yeah.
person actually got so offended by it that they left the guild. And yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So, I'm sorry. If I killed you and you were offended by it, my bad. But I do it a lot, and it's not my fault. I a lot of times run with auto map or my map open, and I'm on auto run, and the cliff just comes out of nowhere. And then, or I jump off, and I remember I got fall damage straight on, and nobody else does. So everybody dies except
Oh
me.
yeah, like that little clip I got to see before this started of the jumping off the tower to go help another tag in GW2, and a lot of people didn't deploy wings and splatted behind you, so you couldn't go help.
Yep. It
At the
happens a lot.
time, I didn't have wings. Didn't know I was supposed to deploy.
Or yeah, or even put your points in there when they first added that, and you go in there and don't realize it, or you go on a different tune and realize, oops, I gotta put my points on something.
So
should post the
thanks,
question, how many of us are sheeps? Who remembers the ESO episode where we're all following Fog on our horseback, he accidentally dismounts, everybody dismounts, he hops on, we all hop on and continue following.
Indeed. So I just have to say, I'm really impressed. 12.5% of you guys haven't died by me leading you off a cliff. There are people in this community that haven't died falling off an edge.
I don't think I have the opportunity yet, Fog.
Just a heads up, Fog sees that as a challenge. He's now going to find that 12.5% and make sure you die.
Yeah, I don't think Danzig's been here long enough to have that.
I was gonna say Revalia for Fluxus drove me off a cliff at least twice, so it would happen if you gave the opportunity to me.
Alright guys, well, this is all we got today. That's all we got today. So get ready for one epic year. I look forward to being here with you guys. We're going to experience a lot of different games. There's going to be a lot of things going on, a lot of times. I'm going to try to keep you informed as best I can through our newsletters, through our website, through our Discord. I will be shouting out there across Facebook. Wherever you're at, I'm going to try to reach you. It's getting harder and harder to communicate with you guys as everyone's scattering to the four winds of the digital channels and everywhere. And thank you so much for being here, guys. You guys are really why I keep doing this, and the passion behind why I commit myself year after year to making this happen. So thank you all. You guys are the star of this community.
Thanks for an epic summit.
Thank you. And that's why I'm still here 9 years later.
Thanks, Fog.
It's awesome here.
And one more patch to Winterlight, just because. Snuck that one in on you.
Cool. I think she has to get a Looks certificate too, because I think she's one of the ones that didn't get her certificate yet. Not sure.
Yep, I have 3 certificates sitting here, ready to be mailed.
Yeah, I
along
knew
with
you
2
were.
jerseys and about 14 patches. So.
Yeah, I knew you were in the process of doing that, and I knew some people were like going, "Well, where's mine now?" And so I was trying to think of who didn't have one. I know it's in process.
Trust me, I know. There's a checklist.
I've been here 9 years, and I don't have anything except for fall damage. No, just kidding.
Alright, guys. Well, thank you for joining us. Until next time, so long, go Hoyle.
Catch you later, Fog.
Thank you, Fog.
Later.